The cursor blinked, a malevolent eye in the dimly lit room. Man of Thoughts. The name glowed on the laptop screen, mocking him. He was supposed to be writing, crafting profound insights for his eagerly awaiting, at least he hoped they were eager, audience. Instead, he was staring at a blank page, the digital void mirroring the emptiness he felt inside. He glanced at the clock. 3 a.m. The witching hour, they called it. He chuckled darkly. Appropriate. The only magic happening was the way his to-do list magically multiplied the longer he ignored it. Procrastination, his oldest friend, his most hated enemy. He knew it was irrational, this self-sabotage. He knew the guilt would fester, the anxiety would spike, the quality of his work would suffer. And yet here he was, once again trapped in the procrastination spiral. He told himself it wasn't laziness, it was fear. The fear of failure, of judgment, of not living up to the expectations he'd built around Man of Thoughts. The weight of those expectations pressed down on him, heavy and suffocating. It was easier to do nothing, to exist in the limbo of the not yet started. As long as he didn't try, he couldn't fail, couldn't be ridiculed by the faceless masses of the internet. He knew it was a flawed logic, a cowardly retreat from the battlefield of creation. But fear, he'd learned, was a powerful motivator, and the worst part, he knew his followers, his digital disciples, would understand. They'd leave comments about their own struggles with procrastination, their shared experience of this modern-day affliction. He'd be preaching to the choir, a choir of self-saboteurs united in their shared misery. He'd read all the articles, knew all the tricks. Break down tasks into smaller chunks. Reward yourself for progress. Eliminate distractions. He even bought a book on time management. Its brightly colored cover, now a mocking reminder of his inability to follow through. The truth was, he enjoyed the adrenaline rush of a last-minute scramble, the frantic energy of a deadline looming. It was a twisted form of motivation, a perverse pleasure derived from self-inflicted pressure. He imagined his brain as a mischievous imp, gleefully tossing aside his carefully laid plans, reveling in the chaos it created. "You think you can control me?" it seemed to snicker. "I am the master of procrastination, the architect of your demise." Section 4, the mask of humor. He'd learned to wear a mask to deflect his anxieties with humor. He'd joke about his procrastination on his channel, turning his self-sabotage into relatable content. His followers ate it up, finding solace in the shared experience of being flawed, of being human. But deep down, the laughter rang hollow. It was a defense mechanism, a way to disarm the shame he felt at his own inability to change. He was a comedian performing a stand-up routine about his own mental breakdown, the audience laughing along, oblivious to the turmoil beneath the surface. He wondered if they'd still find him relatable if they knew the truth, if they saw the fear and self-loathing lurking behind the jokes. He doubted it. Vulnerability, after all, was a difficult thing to market. Section 5. Trapped in the cycle. He knew this was unsustainable, this cycle of self-destruction. He was slowly drowning in a sea of unfinished projects, missed deadlines, and unfulfilled potential. The guilt was a constant weight, a leaden ball chained to his ankle, dragging him down, but breaking free felt impossible. He was trapped in a prison of his own making, the bars forged from his own fear and self-doubt. He was both the jailer and the inmate, the architect of his own torment. He knew he needed to change, to break the cycle. But change required effort, discipline, a level of willpower he wasn't sure he possessed. So he sat there, frozen in indecision, the blank page staring back at him, a stark reminder of his own powerlessness. Section 6. A glimpse of hope, and then a thought. A small, fragile flicker of hope in the darkness. What if he wrote about this? What if he shed the mask, dropped the jokes, and revealed the raw, ugly truth of his procrastination? What if he turned his greatest weakness into his greatest strength, his struggle into a source of connection? He knew it wouldn't be easy. It would be terrifying, exposing himself like this, laying bare his soul for the world to judge. But maybe, just maybe, it would be worth it. Maybe by confronting his demons, by sharing his story, he could finally break free. He took a deep breath and began to type. The words came slowly at first, hesitant, unsure. But as he wrote, something shifted within him. The fear was still there, but so was a sense of purpose, a feeling of liberation. He was writing again. And this time, it felt different. This time, it felt real.